my boyfriend to change after I caught him watching porn. But secret messages, dating apps, and a frat party hookup exposed the truth about our 2-year relationship. I, 18F, have been dating my boyfriend Ravi, 19M, for 2 years now. We met in high school during senior year when he transferred to my school after his dad got a new job in our city. Initially, we were just friends since I was assigned to show him around the school. Over the next 3 months, we started hanging out more with our friend group and eventually just the two of us. He asked me out after homecoming where we had gone as friends. My parents, Jenny, 45F, and David, 47M, were hesitant at first because they thought I was too young for a serious relationship. But they warmed up to Ravi quickly because he was always respectful, maintained straight A's, and had clear goals about going to medical school. Ravi's parents, Tom, 50M, and Lisa, 48F, approved of our relationship from the start. Lisa especially loved me because, according to her, I was the first girl Ravi dated who actually cared about his future and encouraged him to focus on his studies instead of just partying. The first 6 months were perfect. We went on cute dates, studied together, and spent time with each other's families. Ravi was my first serious boyfriend. I had dated 2 guys before him, but those relationships barely lasted a month. With Ravi, everything felt different and more mature. When we hit the 6-month mark, we started getting more physically intimate. That's when I decided we needed to have an honest conversation about boundaries and expectations. I told him about my views on relationships and what I considered deal breakers. One of those things was porn. I explained that watching porn while being in a committed relationship made me deeply uncomfortable. I had seen how it affected my older sister Emma's, 25F, previous relationship where her ex became addicted to it, and it destroyed their intimacy. Ravi listened patiently and agreed immediately when I asked if he would stop watching porn. He told me he hadn't watched any in months anyway because he was too busy with school and sports. He even said he was glad I brought it up because he thought porn gave people unrealistic expectations about sex and relationships. Everything continued perfectly after that conversation. We both got accepted into the same college, which made our parents happy since they wouldn't have to worry about us doing long distance. We spent the summer together, went on a beach trip with our friends, and helped each other move into our dorms. The problem started about 4 months ago. It was midterm season and Ravi and I were studying at his dorm. His roommate was away for the weekend, so we had the place to ourselves. Around dinner time, Ravi went to pick up the food we ordered, leaving his laptop open on his desk. I never snooped through his stuff before because I trusted him completely. That day, just as a joke, I decided to check his browser history because I was curious about what kind of study materials he was using for his biology class. What I found instead made my stomach turn. His history was full of porn websites from just the previous night. Not just 1 or 2 links, there were multiple visits to different sites. Felt sick. When he came back with the food, I confronted him immediately. At first, he tried playing it off as pop-up ads from streaming sites where he watches soccer matches. When I showed him the actual searches, his face changed. He admitted that he occasionally watched porn but claimed it was only a few times a month when he was really stressed. He said he didn't tell me because he thought he would eventually stop on his own and didn't want to cause unnecessary drama. Something about his explanation felt off. The amount of links I saw didn't match with watching porn just a few times a month. A week later, after the shock wore off, I confronted him again. This time I was more direct about wanting the complete truth. After some back and forth, he confessed that he actually watched porn 2 to 3 times a week. His excuse this time was that he didn't think I would care that much about it since we had been together for so long. He also said all his friends watched porn and they said it was normal in relationships. The final revelation came 2 weeks after that. I was using his iPad to work on our joint presentation when a Reddit notification popped up. I found his account was active in several NSFW subreddits. He had been commenting on posts as recently as that morning. When I confronted him this time, he finally broke down and admitted everything. He watched porn every single day, sometimes multiple times. He had never actually stopped even after promising me he would. He had even started paying for premium subscriptions on some sites. I was devastated. For almost our entire relationship, he had been lying to my face. Every time I asked him about it in the past year, he had looked me in the eyes and lied without hesitation. When I asked why he kept lying even after being caught the first time, he said he was scared of losing me and hoped I wouldn't find out more. He also said he didn't think watching porn was a big deal and felt I was being unreasonable about it. 2 weeks ago, we had a long 3-hour conversation where I explained in detail why his actions hurt me so much. It wasn't even about the porn anymore, it was about the breach of trust. He had made a conscious choice to lie to me every single day for a year. He was only sorry because he got caught, not because he felt guilty about lying. He finally seemed to understand how serious this was and promised to be completely honest from now on. My best friend Ashley, 18F, thinks I'm being dramatic about The whole thing. She says all guys watch porn and I'm lucky Robbie is willing to stop now instead of just breaking up with me. But my sister Emma understands completely. Her ex-boyfriend started with lying about porn and eventually she caught him cheating with multiple women. Robbie has been trying to make things right since our big talk. He deleted all his accounts, gave me his passwords, and calls me throughout the day to let me know what he's doing. But every time I look at him now, I wonder what else he might be lying about. If he could lie so easily about this for an entire year, what else could he be hiding? Right now, I'm torn about what to do. Part of me wants to forgive him because this is his first serious relationship too, and everyone makes mistakes. But another part of me can't get over the fact that he was comfortable lying to me for so long. Am I overreacting by considering ending a 2-year relationship over this? Should I try to work through this, or is this a sign that I should move on? Date 1. Hi everyone, it's been 3 weeks since my original post. First, I want to thank everyone who took time to respond. The opinions were pretty divided. Some people thought I was being controlling about the porn issue while others agreed that the repeated lying was a major red flag. After reading all the comments and talking things through with my sister Emma, I decided to give Robbie another chance. He seemed genuinely remorseful and was making real efforts to rebuild trust. He deleted all his social media accounts except Snapchat, which he needed for our college study group. He installed an app that tracked his internet activity and shared the reports with me. He even suggested we go to his parents' house for dinner every weekend so I would know exactly where he was and what he was doing. Things were slowly getting better, or at least I thought they were. Yesterday completely shattered whatever progress we had made. I was at Robbie's dorm working on our chemistry project. His roommate was at basketball practice, so we had the place to ourselves again. Around 6 p.m., Robbie went to take a shower. While he was gone, his phone kept buzzing with Snapchat notifications. I usually don't check his phone even though we agreed on an open phone policy after everything that happened. But the notifications kept coming, and something in my gut told me to look. The messages were from someone named Rachel. When I opened them, my whole world fell apart all over again. Rachel was sending him suggestive selfies and messages like "miss you baby" and "can't wait to see you again this weekend." I scrolled up through their chat history and discovered they had been talking for weeks, starting right after our 3-hour conversation about trust and honesty. Robbie had been telling her that his relationship was falling apart and that he was planning to end things with me soon. There were messages about them meeting up at campus parties and studying together at the library. Robbie had even skipped our regular Friday night dinner with his parents 2 weeks ago, claiming he had a group project meeting. According to the messages, he had actually spent that evening with Rachel at a bar. When Robbie came back from his shower, I was sitting on his bed with his phone in my hands, crying. He saw my face and immediately knew what I had found. Instead of trying to deny it like last time, he broke down crying too. He admitted that Rachel was a girl from his Biology 101 class. According to him, nothing physical had happened between them yet. They just flirted and hung out a few times. His excuse made me even angrier. He said he started talking to Rachel because he felt suffocated in our relationship after the porn incident. He claimed I was always checking up on him and seemed angry all the time, so he enjoyed getting positive attention from someone else. He swore he was going to end things with her because he realized what he was doing was wrong, but he just hadn't found the right moment yet. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He was blaming me for his decision to emotionally cheat. I grabbed my stuff and left immediately, ignoring his pleas to stay and talk things through. I blocked him on everything: phone, social media, email, everything. I even emailed our chemistry professor asking to switch project partners. Robbie's mom Lisa called me around midnight. She was crying and begging me to give Robbie one more chance. According to her, Robbie was devastated and had told them everything. She said he was young and stupid, and this was his first serious relationship, so he didn't know how to handle it properly. She promised they would get him help and make sure he treated me better. My parents, who had always liked Robbie, were surprisingly understanding when I told them what happened. But they think I should at least hear him out one last time since we have 2 years of history together. They're worried I might regret cutting him off completely without a proper conversation. The most shocking part came this morning. Ashley, who had previously told me I was overreacting about the porn, came to my dorm with some disturbing news. After I told her about Rachel, she did some digging through her contacts at Robbie's dorm. Apparently, Rachel isn't the only girl Robbie's been talking to. Ashley's roommate showed her Robbie's profiles on multiple dating apps, all created around the same time he started talking to Rachel. My sister Emma drove 3 hours from her city to stay with me for a few days because I've been a mess. She ordered my favorite takeout, brought ice cream, and we're having a girls' night in. She thinks I made the right choice by blocking Robbie immediately instead of giving him a chance to manipulate me with more lies. I feel stupid for believing him when he said he would change after the porn incident. I feel even more stupid for thinking I was being too harsh on him by checking his internet activity. Turns out my gut was right all along. The porn wasn't the real issue, it was just the tip of the iceberg. Robbie has been trying to reach me through our mutual friends. He even sent me a handwritten letter through his roommate saying he would do anything to fix things. But I don't see the point anymore. How can I ever trust him again when every time I give him a chance, he finds new ways to betray me? Right now, I'm focusing on my midterms and trying to keep myself busy. I've removed all our pictures from social media and returned his hoodie through his roommate. Ashley and Emma are helping me stay strong, but it's hard. 2 years is a long time to be with someone, and despite everything, I still miss him. But I know I deserve better than someone who can lie to my face while actively pursuing other girls. I'll update again if anything significant happens, but for now, I just needed to get this off my chest. Thank you to everyone who told me to trust my instincts in the comments of my original post. Day 2. Hi everyone. It's been 2 months since my last update and things have gotten even messier. After I blocked Robbie, he started showing up everywhere, outside my dorm, at my classes, at my part-time job in the campus library. At first, he would just stand there looking sad, hoping I would talk to him. When that didn't work, he started leaving notes and gifts at my door. The situation got really bad 3 weeks ago when he showed up at my parents' house at 2 a.m., completely drunk. He kept ringing the doorbell and yelling that he needed to talk to me. My dad had to threaten to call the police before he finally left. The next morning, his mom Lisa came to apologize, but she also tried to convince me that Robbie was just acting this way because he was heartbroken. Lisa wouldn't stop calling and texting. She kept saying I was being cruel by not giving Robbie a chance to explain himself. She even contacted my mom and told her that Robbie had started therapy and was making real changes. My mom, who had been supportive until then, started suggesting that maybe I should hear him out. But my dad and Emma stood firm, saying Robbie's behavior was becoming scary and controlling. The final straw came last week. I received an anonymous email containing dozens of screenshots. They were conversations between Robbie and multiple girls, dating back to the very beginning of our relationship, even before the porn incident. There were explicit messages, pictures, and plans to meet up. He had been cheating on me the entire time we were together. The screenshots showed something even more disturbing. Many of these girls were people I knew, girls from our high school, my college study groups, even some I considered friends. Robbie had told all of them that we broke up months ago. He had a whole separate Instagram account where he posted pictures with some of these girls, making it look like he was single. I found out he took Rachel to the same restaurant where we had our first date. He told her the same sweet things he used to tell me. He even bought her the same brand of chocolates he would get me when I was sad. It wasn't just physical cheating. He had been emotionally manipulating multiple girls the same way he manipulated me. I forwarded everything to Lisa. For the first time, she had no excuses for Robbie. She called me crying and admitted that she had caught Robbie texting other girls several times but believed him when he said they were just friends. She also revealed that 6 months ago, Tom had caught Robbie with another girl in their house when they were supposed to be out of town. Robbie had begged his dad not to tell me and promised it was a one-time mistake. Tom finally reached out to. He apologized for enabling Robbie's behavior and admitted they should have told me the truth. He said he tried to talk to Robbie about respecting women and relationships, but Robbie would always minimize his actions and make excuses. Now they're finally realizing how serious the situation is. My sister Emma helped me get tested for STDs since we discovered Robbie hadn't been using protection with some of these girls. Thankfully, all tests came back negative. Ashley has been incredibly supportive through all this. She actually set me up with her cousin Matt, who's really sweet, but I told her I need time before I can even think about dating again. The hardest part was confronting the girls who had no idea they were part of Robbie's cheating spree. Most of them were shocked and apologetic. A few even showed me more evidence of Robbie's lies. One girl from his biology class told me he used the same excuse about watching porn with all of them, claiming each one was the reason he stopped. The screenshots are still coming in from different sources. Apparently, once one girl found out and started talking, many others came forward with similar stories. Robbie's reputation on campus is completely destroyed. He stopped coming to most of his classes, and I heard from his roommate that he's planning to transfer to a different college next semester. Lisa still tries to reach out through mutual friends, saying Robbie is really changing this time and that therapy is helping him understand his issues. But the girl he hooked up with at last week's frat party would probably disagree about him changing. I feel like I'm finally seeing Robbie for who he really is. Not the sweet, dedicated boyfriend I thought I knew, but a manipulative liar who got caught in his own web of lies. In a weird way, I'm grateful for the porn incident. If I hadn't caught him in that lie, I might have never discovered the truth about everything else. Date 3. This will be my final update. It's been 5 months since everything blew up, and my life has completely changed. Robbie finally stopped trying to contact me, but not because he wanted to. His dad Tom gave him an ultimatum. Either Robbie leaves me alone and focuses on fixing his life, or Tom stops paying for his college and car. Apparently, Robbie's grades had dropped so badly that he was at risk of losing his scholarship anyway. The situation with Rachel took an interesting turn last month. Her boyfriend, who was away on a semester abroad, came back early and found all her messages with Robbie. Instead of keeping quiet, he made a public post on the college confessions page exposing everything. He included screenshots of Rachel and Robbie's conversations where they both admitted to cheating on their partners. The post went viral in our college community. This led to even more girls coming forward. One girl revealed that Robbie had borrowed money from her, claiming he needed it for his mom's medical bills. Another said he convinced her to write his papers for him by saying he was struggling with depression. Each story showed a pattern of manipulation that went far beyond just cheating. Lisa still hasn't given up. She sends messages through mutual friends every few weeks, updating me about Robbie's progress in therapy. According to her, he's been diagnosed with sex addiction and is really working on himself. She thinks once he completes his treatment, we could try to be friends again. I blocked her number after she showed up at my workplace with photos from our relationship, trying to remind me of the good times. The most surprising development came from Tom. He reached out last week to let me know that he and Lisa are getting divorced. Apparently, Robbie's behavior made them reevaluate their own relationship, and Lisa's constant enabling of Robbie was the final straw. Tom apologized again for not telling me the truth when he caught Robbie cheating, saying he'll always regret it. As for me, I'm doing much better. I focused on my studies and actually made the dean's list this semester. Emma convinced me to join a women's support group on campus where I met other girls who went through similar experiences. It's been really healing to share our stories and help each other grow. Ashley's cousin Matt and I did go on one date, but we decided to stay friends. He's actually dating my roommate now and they're really good together. I'm not ready to date yet, and honestly I'm okay with that. I'm learning to be happy on my own. The girl Robbie supposedly hooked up with at the frat party reached out to me last week. Turns out he's still using the same stories, telling girls he's working through trauma from his toxic ex, me, and needs someone to understand him. She warned me that he's been telling people I'm crazy and obsessed with him, trying to rewrite our history. Some days are still hard, especially when I see him around campus or hear about him from mutual friends. But mostly I'm grateful. Grateful that I found out who he really was before things got more serious. Grateful that I didn't ignore the red flags about the porn just because I loved him. Grateful that I had the strength to walk away. To everyone who told me I was overreacting about the lying, thank you for being wrong. My gut was right from the start. It was never about the porn. It was about the lying, the manipulation, and the complete disregard for other people's feelings. I've learned that if someone can lie so easily about small things, they can lie about anything. And sometimes, the hardest lessons teach us the most important things about ourselves.